Hi, Brooklyn here with Cedar Sun Ceramics, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today in the studio, we're going to kick off the channel by doing the favorite shaving foam and underglaze decorating technique. Let's walk through all of the supplies we're going to need for today's project. I've got 4 pieces here that have been bisqued, a cookie sheet, and I use this specifically for this decorating technique so that I don't mix pottery supplies with my home cooking supplies. The shaving foam, the Amaco Velvet Underglaze, and this is the one I always use that I've found to have the best results with. A recycled container with some water just to rinse off my tools. My potter's thumb tool, my watering can, and then I also have an old plant container, we'll call it, but any sort of bucket will work. You're just needing something to rinse the shaving foam off your pieces into something that you can then dispose of properly. Okay, so let's get started. The first step in our process is to shake up our shaving foam, and then we're just going to put a layer of it across the entire tray. And that's probably a good amount to get started right there. Then using your potter's thumb or any wood tool you have on hand, we're just gonna go gently across it, and we're trying to get just a nice even layer where the entire surface is covered. We have our board with a nice even layer of shaving foam. And now comes the fun part. We're gonna add the Ultra Black Velvet Underglaze from Amaco onto our board. I'll give it a nice shake. So as you can see, I'm just gonna do it in a random pattern, but I am applying a generous amount of underglaze. And then I'm just gonna start making swirl patterns in the surface level of my shaving foam. One tip I have, I've tried this process with several different colors, and just like underglaze, when you paint it on, the lighter colors are going to need more than one coat. So when I did this technique using lighter colors, I used a light blue, a light pink. I didn't get as great of results because the colors needed more than one coat. If you wanted to try it with different colors, I would just suggest trying it with some dark purples. They've got some beautiful like terracotta colors that would look really nice with this. This is the part where it's going to get a little messy. So go ahead and take your piece. Again, this has been bisque fired once. And after we apply the shaving foam and wash it off, we're going to put it through a second bisque just to get rid of any of that residue from the shaving foam. Here's the part where you get to kind of figure out where you want your design to be. So I'm really liking the horizontal movement of this underglaze on the tray. So I think I'm gonna roll my piece like this, and I wanna make sure that the entire piece is really getting into the shaving foam. And I'm just gently guiding it across. Then I'm gonna grab my water bucket, and you can see I did get some on the base, and because it's underglaze, that's totally fine for it to seep onto the base. In fact, I think I'm gonna just try, and let's dip this base and just see what happens. Okay, so now I've got my base covered in shaving foam too, and let's see what that does. That's the fun part about pottery, is it's always an experiment. I'm gonna use my watering can. The underglaze is soaking right into the clay while the shaving foam comes off of the piece. And you can see the beautiful marbled pattern. Then with the other two that I have here, we're going to go ahead and do the outside first, and then using the shaving foam left on our tray, we'll put it in the inside, and I'll show you how to get a nice smoky marbled looking pattern on the inside of your piece. I'm gonna find my pattern through the tray. One question I get actually is how soon after I apply the shaving foam should I wash it off? And frankly, I've tried it anywhere from right away, just like this first piece I showed y'all, to I've let them sit for 2 or 3 minutes while I do all of the pieces, and then I rinse them at once. So I haven't found that there's a big difference between rinsing it off immediately or waiting a few minutes till you're done with the rest. So the outside is covered in shaving foam, but our inside is still empty. I'm gonna grab just clumps of shaving foam and underglaze, trying to keep some of that pattern in my fingers, and I'm going to apply it on the inside of the piece. Just kind of plop it in there, give it a little shake, apply with my fingers some more of the shaving foam and underglaze mixture. The inside now is completely full of shaving foam. I've got to make sure that it gets all the way down to the base. So I'm just gonna stick my hand in there, get a little messy, have a little fun in the studio today. Make sure that I'm covering it all. And give this a nice rinse. I've gotten most of the shaving foam off the outside, but you can see there's still some in the inside. Fill it with water and then dump out the shaving foam. And we've got our second matching pair with the marbled inside, so we're gonna go ahead and wash that off too. This is why it's important that the piece already be bisqued once, because if I were to do this on bone dry clay, adding water back in at that stage would just break the piece. I wouldn't be able to handle it like this. Now that we've washed it off, you can see the outside marble pattern, the inside marble pattern. So this one is now just needing to dry, and then I'll put it through for a second bisque firing, add clear glaze to it, then it will be ready to use, dishwasher safe, food safe, and it'll be a nice little tumbler. Subscribe if you want to join me in the studio as we experiment some more with pottery, and if you want to see me do the bowl in shaving foam, head over to my Instagram at cedarsun_ceramics. Thank you so much for your support for my first ever YouTube video. Let's meet again in the studio soon to see what else we can create.